Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ServiceNow 911. There are many professionals who want to join ServiceNow, who want to switch into ServiceNow. They have energy, they have passion, but they do not have much guidance. So, for all such people, we have an inspiration today. A gentleman who has successfully changed or switched into ServiceNow and right now working in a top multinational company of India. Please welcome Mr. Jay Shah. Okay,
Yeah.
so hello Jay, how are you doing
Uh,
today?
yeah, good OP. Good morning. I'm doing pretty well and hope you are doing also well.
I'm great, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to talk to you, to understand your experience and all
Uh,
things.
yes. Yeah, definitely. I happy to share my experience with audience, larger audience. Yeah.
So, Jay, my first question to you is like,
Uh,
can you tell us about your previous work experience, which technology you have worked on, and other stuff
hmm. Yeah.
apart from ServiceNow?
Sure, OP. So
Okay,
I've been in IT world from last 5 years. Okay, initial
okay,
when I joined IT industry, I work in a network domain, computer network domain basically, where I used to do network testing for USA clients. Okay,
okay,
and it's been a 2.5 years in this domain basically, and apart from this, I work on Azure and Nagios monitoring tool as well. So it's related products and support work I was doing previously, and yeah. So basically, and my entire initial years of starting being passed in that technology itself. But we were using ServiceNow tool as for ticketing tool. So I have
okay,
known few things about ServiceNow at that point in time. Yeah.
okay. So, like networking experience, I'm sure definitely come handy with you, and you are using it now itself in ServiceNow.
I'm not core in discovery right now, but I know few things about CMDB and how these things relations are being there in a service now. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
I know basically infra well, like whether it's in cloud or on premises. So I have that insight with me that how a network is working behind the scenes. Yeah.
Okay, great,
Mm,
great.
mm.
So let's move to next question.
Yeah.
Like from where you have heard about ServiceNow, and apart from various technologies which are
Mm,
available, how you choose
mm.
it, how you chosen ServiceNow as your next step, next career path.
Yeah. So yes, as I said, as I said, I was in network texting and I was in production support as well, like doing
Okay,
Nagios monitoring and Azure one. So we were using our client was using ServiceNow tool as for the ticketing tool, creating ticket problem and change basically. So from that time, I know about ServiceNow. Okay, but I don't know how these things are being configured in a backend, so I don't have much idea on it. Okay, so I
okay,
just searched few things on internet, and there was another developer who is developing this tool for our
okay,
client. So I have a good connect with him, and he told me that these things working like that. So I also curious that I can also learn this thing. It's not that much difficult, because
mm-hmm.
I graduated from computer science, so I thought maybe I can do it well in this
Right,
one. And in also Gartner also, they are saying that it's a top tool, like for some years, particularly when I was in 2021. So I thought maybe that would be a good career change also, I can do it. So that was a point I just started learning service now. And
okay,
there are lots of other technologies also in the market. I learned Azure. Okay, but
okay,
when I go in a market, they don't basically wanted only Azure. They also asking for DevOps. At that
okay,
point
right,
time, I it's very difficult for me to learn DevOps because I don't have that prior experience. But why I choose service now? Because I was in that environment so long, so
mm-hmm.
it's very easy for me to recognize those things. So that is the biggest reason for me to change this service now or one. And other than that, that service now is very easy, and like it's not that much difficult for at
Right,
one time. So I just choose this one technology, and it was booming, so I thought maybe I can
mm-hmm.
easily flow with that flow.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it means that you did a good research before entering into ServiceNow. Like
yeah,
you have compared few other technologies with respect
yeah,
to
Yeah.
difficulty level with respect to money, with respect to like its market as well, right?
Opportunity market also I have researched, because as said, in Azure, people are asking DevOps and other things as well, so I don't have much experience on it, and it takes some time to learn those things, so better to
Right.
choose service now, as I've been there for a while. Yeah.
Okay. So a great tip for all the people who are like trying for service now, that it is, as compared to other technology, it is booming, it is easy to learn, and
Hmm.
obviously it will give you good money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So again, next, let's go to the next question.
yeah,
So what was your biggest challenge while you transitioning from networking into ServiceNow field? So, and how
yeah.
you overcome that particular challenge?
So basically, ServiceNow, as said, ServiceNow is a SaaS-based product, and like they given lots of out-of-box functionalities, okay, to use. But in real world, it's always that you need to customize few things, okay. So
Okay.
when I started learning ServiceNow, it seems easy for me, because like there are lots of good content in internet, so and like Now Learning and other ServiceNow community I got, and I'm following few YouTube channels, so I learn all these things from YouTube's, and few trainings, internal company trainings, and it seems that it's very easy. But when I'm doing
Okay.
practical, it's very challenging for me, because I've been in computer science from like I graduated in computer science, so I used to do coding, but I in this 2.5 years span, I forgot total about coding. So I started initial learn JavaScript, and then transitioning to that one. While doing some customization, I am face issue, because several time I don't know how to see logs, how to see
Right.
integration logs and all. So that was a very difficult challenging for me, and sometimes I don't know if some values are getting changed on form or on some catalog item, how these things are getting changed. So that was very difficult for me to identify in the initial stages.
Okay.
But once I revise all concept again and again and again, and watch some videos on YouTube, how business rules are working, how clients are server side scripts are there, client side scripts are there. So initially, by the time I have a good grasp on those things. So in initial days, I couldn't understand how these things are working in sense. So
Right.
it was the biggest
Okay.
challenge for me, and even I was in a production environment, and when
Mhm.
production defects came, so I couldn't understand. People are saying that these
Okay.
values are getting changed, it should not support to change. So I don't know how these things are working in behind the scenes. I know about debugging tool, but in particular service now, there are lots of debugging tool like script tracers and transaction logs. So I started learning those things, and once I have good command on it, that time I can understand how this thing
Oh,
working. Yeah.
okay. So, how often you are using PDI, personal development instance, from
Yes, yes.
starting till now? So, how much
Yeah.
practice you are doing on that?
Different scenarios, like suppose I need to get client side server side data to client side, how we can use it, like G scratchpad or something. There are
Okay.
different topics which I saw on internet, so I'm just practicing those things, just watching video and trying myself. That's it I'm doing. But i
Okay.
i was in that continuous practice, so at least I can have I can support my things in production environment. So at least one day I should do this thing. So that was my plan in initial
Okay.
days.
So you
Yeah.
can say this is your strategy, and obviously for all the people who are listening,
Mhm.
just by going through the static content is not helping, right? You
Mm.
have to do practice a lot. You have to
Practice a
understand
lot.
the concept, and then you
Mm.
have to implement that concept within your personal development instance.
Personal sense,
And
yeah.
there you will see everything. You will have all kind of modules which are paid in general, but in PDI, everything is free. You can
Mm.
download that particular module, you can use it, and you can practice it.
So let me give you one point where like why I use PDI also most, because every time I heard from my seniors that you don't need to do something in dev environment also, because if
Right,
something broke out, then it will stop all works, okay, not your work. It maybe cause other people's also, okay, because
right,
there are lots
right,
of people working in the same instance. So always have that fear that if I do something and something broke, then how it would difficult for me also and others also.
Right.
So always I try to I have user stories with me, so I try to simulate kind of same thing.
Hmm.
Even though table name would be changed, so I'm always use incident table for that scenario. Like whatever the table is there, I will just test this thing in PDI, and then I will try to doing that in my production dev environment. So
Okay.
it would give me some confidence also, that if I'm making some mistake, it's fine, but I have practice in PDI, then it won't broke something in day one. Because initial dates were very I was in fear that if I do something and it will broke, then it would be like great loss. And so it is always good to practice in PDI
Right.
before doing
Right.
some in a prod environment, or maybe like in your company environment basically.
Right. That's great
Mm.
use of PDI, and
Uh,
I will recommend everyone to do such thing because practice is the only key here.
yeah.
Many people ask question like how much time it is needed to learn ServiceNow.
Hmm.
So only thing is practice. The more you
Exactly.
practice, easily you will get
Hmm.
the things, and less time will be taken to understand the things. Right. So
Yes,
now
yes,
let's
yes.
go to our next question.
Yeah.
Can you share your experience with respect to your ServiceNow interview, your very first ServiceNow interview?
Yeah. So I was in internal training, and
Okay.
I learn service now well, okay, and just I watch some videos, YouTube videos, and how interviews are being conducted, mock interviews, attend few mock interviews, and I thought, and I updated my resume well. I
Okay.
like based on service now experience, what I had in last 6 months, and
Okay.
so I thought it's a good time to give a chance to take an
Right.
interview.
Obviously.
So I got a call, okay, from one of good MNC, and they told me that your interview schedule. First time I
Okay.
was nervous, okay, because
Right.
I am going to give my first interview, and but I know that not all, but I can attend few things, and I can just gauge my level, what is the level I having, okay. So
Obviously.
luckily there were two interview rounds were there, okay. In first interview round, they didn't ask me much complicated things, but they just
Okay.
asked me about the basic foundation of service now.
Okay.
How scripts are running in scenes, what is the flow execution, okay, what are the scripts execution, what are the different type of engines is available in service now,
Okay.
what is the way to debug client side script, server side script, okay. What is the different why you want to use glide ajax, this basic concept they were asking, and I have a good practice in PDI, so I was able to answer all those questions which being asked to me,
Okay.
okay, in that interview.
Okay.
But it was
Okay.
and they really focusing on ITSM concept, because they asked me about every ITSM concept, like what is the incident, what is the problem,
Okay.
what is the change, why what type of different type of change in the industry. Like I've been in this ITSM one, so they more
Okay.
ask me about ITSM concept, because that is a basic thing which you need to clear out,
This is
ITSM
the
one,
foundation of service now.
foundation of service now.
Obviously.
ITSM is very required. How SLAs are being triggered. Like basic utilities. Okay, like
Okay.
how email notifications are work. If you want to send an email notification, what you do.
Okay.
So that are the basic concept, and that days, service now is transitioning to workflow to flow designer. Okay, so there were lots
Okay.
of questions related to flow designer also, like how many times you are using flow designer, how was your command on the workflow, question on service catalog also, like what are the difference between service catalog, record producer, and order guide, main different. Like there are lots
Okay.
of functionality in service now, so they ask a few basic concepts there. Luckily I was able to answer all of these questions, and luckily I was
Okay.
selected also. In the second round, they asked me about that, would you able to work in a different module also, because in service now there are lots of different modules,
Right.
ITSM, CSM, FSM, then ITOM, lots of SecOp, GRC, lots of different modules. So I've been working in two modules, so I told them that if any different modules came, I can work, because core would be the same, just
Obviously, yeah.
that module table and structure would be changed. So I confidently answer them that yeah, I can work in that. And luckily
Okay.
within the 20 days I got offer from that company as
Oh,
well.
that's
Yeah.
really great.
So,
That's
so
really great.
it's been a 6 month journey from beginning to end.
Okay.
On those day I walk on PDI. That was my thing, and I watch YouTube's video a lot. YouTube videos that's helped me, and
Okay.
ServiceNow community also helped me a lot. And luckily I met good peoples in that span. So it was easy for me to crack a first interview, and then I got multiple offers from then. I hardly failed in two interviews. As I remember, if I given my 10 interviews, I hardly failed in two interviews, but I crack all once, like luckily. So
That's really great. It's
yeah.
all your practice that paid off, right?
Yes, yes. So I'm really say people don't looking for your coding knowledge there. The
Right.
server people are ask for write a script, how you use a glide ajax, just write a
Mm-hmm.
script for it. Not all are asking about the codes, huh? But if you have a basic understanding of ITSM also, it would help you a lot, because
Right. Right.
then you need to understand process, and then based on process you need to develop something.
That's great.
Yeah.
So my next question is, Jay,
Hmm.
that once you are selected and you got your new job in service now,
Hmm.
so what issues you faced once you joined?
It's always to start a new project, it's very easy, but if you deployed in some project which is already existing developed, it's very difficult to understand first the process, okay, how
Okay.
these things are working, and what are the existing codes are being there. So suppose somebody asks me that you just need to create a form, and so I know how to create a form, but they will ask me that on an existing form you need to check what are the scripts are there, okay, and like there are other functionalities also are there on forms, okay, so you need to develop those functionality with existing functionality also. So here you don't just need to develop a new thing, you just need to check existing things also, that if you develop something, existing functionality should not drop. So, okay, so
Okay.
initial time I spent much on the existing functionality which being developed on a platform. So
Okay.
that's what's very difficult for me, because I don't know how these things are flowing. There are lots of codes in a system. So and by the time I realized that if you have a field name, okay, if you have a field name, if you have something unique things in that one, you can just find in a scripts business rule or script include, it will easy to get those details. So
Okay.
initial time was difficult for me to just check existing functionality, but once
Okay.
I understand process, it become easier for me to develop things on existing functionality.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah,
And on the
yeah,
other note, what is your exciting moment after joining? Anything which you can share with us? Any cherishing moment?
yeah. I was in production support, so usually I was working in shifts, and like I was in always in a P2 P1 P2 calls. So it
Okay.
was a kind of a new environment for me, because in development environment you need to work as a normal working hours. So I was quite happy that I will be also living kind of new life, because it's a really like, so I can actually I can limit myself for certain hours, and I work on my topics on priorities, okay. So that was the first change I have observed. And in the development world, okay, like I was doing coding previously, joined the company, but it was exciting for me that I will also do some coding now. So it was a good chance for me to grow, grab those things again. So that's are the moments, yeah.
Okay. Great. So finally, lastly, I would like to ask you any
Hmm.
guidance or any tips for the people who want to switch into service now, or who are looking, like maybe some freshers or any
Yeah,
person who is
yeah, yeah.
looking into it.
First of all, you need to understand ITSM concept well. Okay, if you want to be
Okay.
in a service now, ITSM is very core thing which you need to learn first. Okay, just understand process, and then based on scenarios, you need to develop something. Okay, how the scripts are being executed in service now, because it's a SaaS based product, so you need to understand that platform very well, how the scripts are triggered from. end to end, like even though
Okay.
it's from started from client end, how it's going from client end to server end, server end to client end, how data is being fetched, okay, what are the transitions happen, how to debug a script. Those are the basic foundation you need to learn first. And you need to at least have a one certificate. If you need to change a job, at least you need to have a CSS certificate. And uh, like nowadays, people are not always asking about ITSM, they are asking about different modules also, like how many different module you have working so far. Okay, so ServiceNow is also developing low code no code solutions now, so they are
Right.
asking about that, how you are good at flow designer. Now
Right.
they are not asking about workflow editor, they are asking that how you are good at flow
Flow
designer.
design. Right.
Flow designer, how you can you know about integration hub, okay, you know about APIs. Those things are like being asked like while joining. So but if you understand these things, like one or two modules would be fine. Even though you have a
Okay.
knowledge, it's totally fine if you don't have experience to work in this module, but at least you have knowledge, it would help you to crack an interview at least. That is my
Okay. Okay.
my view.
That's great. And it will definitely help all the people who are looking to change.
Mm.
And I must
Yeah.
say it was a very,
Mm.
enthusiastic and
Mm.
knowledgeable discussion which we had right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
once again, Jay, thank you so much for joining us.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I appreciate your time. I will give you all the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us today.
Yes, yes. Thank you, OP.